So as I'm sitting down to start recording this, I usually go onto my phone and delete the previous week's podcast so I don't have a lot of stuff taking up my phone, and I realize that I am wearing the exact same shirt that I wore 2 episodes ago. So you are welcome. Hey everyone, my name is Natalie, also known as Knitty Natty. Welcome to episode 58 of the Love and Stitches podcast. Wow, it is a super hot day and you might be able to hear that the air conditioning is on full blast. Sorry, but it is going to have to stay on because it is just too hot here in North Texas. It is 87 degrees and it is only going to get hotter tomorrow. So I guess that's what's happening. If I didn't say already, it is April 7th. Did I already say that? It's Tuesday. I'm getting all out of whack here, but it is episode 58 and I actually have some small things that I have finished and a new project that I cast on. So let's go ahead and dive right into some knitting and some crochet. So for finished objects this week, I have 2 of my upcoming design, which I have decided to name Yarn Cozy Light, L-I-T-E, light. I looked it up, it is a real word. Light can mean like diet, or it can mean, I can't remember the second definition. I think it was like lacking of a substance. And so it kind of fits that meaning because it is lacking of weight, because it is made with fingering weight. So I do plan to have cozies like this for worsted weight. So let me find my first one. I don't know why that's separated. Oh yes, I do. Okay, so my first one, and this is not a pattern that is released yet. It's not even out to testers, but potentially I will have a tester call next week. So this is the first one. It's kind of getting misshapen here as the ball is getting smaller and smaller as I'm pulling from the center. But this is one of the yarn cozies, just a simple rib with an I-cord bind off. This is the second one that I did. This one has faux cables on it. I think it's my favorite. I love it so much. But it's still holding on to the yarn even as it's getting smaller and smaller. And then this one I just finished this morning. This is a self-striping version, and I am going to have instructions on how to make sure you don't have like that color change visible in the ribbing. It's really simple. But I'm going to have a video and explain that in the directions of the pattern. So that's the last one. I can't wait to get this one on some yarn. Why don't we just do that now and see how it looks? I'm not sure if there are going to be any more versions in that first pattern that comes out, but we shall see. I might have inspiration strike. But yeah, that one's pretty fun. That's a really fun way to just use up like leftover self-striping yarn so that you can still like enjoy it. I think that is so cute. So if you want to test, make sure you're following me on Instagram at Knitty Natty so that you can see when the tester call is put out. I will have a link in my bio that you'll go to and fill out like a Google form, and that's how you can apply to test. I do different applications for every test right now. That's how I'm currently doing it. So yeah, just stay on the lookout for that. But those are my finished objects because I haven't woven in the ends yet, so kind of finished, kind of not. And then I'll show you my blur shawl next. I actually haven't done an ounce of work on this, and that's because I've started another crochet shawl, but I'm still going to show it to you anyway. So no changes from last week, but in case you did not see it, this is Blur by Deanne Ramsey, who is Addie Day Designs, and I am into my 3rd color here, just barely. It is a really fun pattern, just kind of simple but keeps your interest because you're changing colors, and just a really great relaxing pattern. So it's going to be a big, huge crescent shaped shawl. I think there are 2 sizes. I'm definitely doing the largest size, so I think there's just 2. And I've got my really cool running stitch markers here. I'm glad those are in there and that they're staying put, because it might be a while before I get back to this project, and then I'll know like exactly where I am, which is great. So blur shawl, and I actually remembered to bring all of my labels today. So, I hope that's better with the air conditioning off. I need to stop the video in a second and make sure that it's not too loud. Oh, I also remembered, see, now I don't feel like I have to shout. I also remembered to bring my swatch. So this is going to use 5 different colors of yarn, although it is designed for 6. So I'm actually using 1 color as the first and 6th color. So at first I made a swatch of the different colors like this, just to try to, 1, to get gauge, but 2, to pick the color order. And I thought, you know, I'm gonna have to make 100 swatches to find all the different color combinations. So what if I just made 6 tiny swatches of each of the colors, and then I could just rearrange them to my heart's content. So that's literally what I did. It was a little bit of extra work, but I made 6 little swatches. I think that's the smallest one. I think most of them I did a chain and then 3 rows. And then I was able to just like stack them up in different orders, see which colors I liked next to each other, which order I wanted things to go in. And when you're laying them flat down on a tray like I was, it was a little easier to see. But that's what I ended up doing. And I feel like that is something that, especially in crochet, is so easy because you don't have to bind off. In knitting, it would be a little more work to have to do multiple swatches. But when you're trying to figure out like striping order, this was definitely a time saver in the long run because I got to test out all the different color combinations. So let's see, I do. I have some of the labels for this project right here. 2 of these are from an advent calendar from Dragon Hoard Yarn and Yarn Cafe Creations, which I know it's only April, the beginning of April, but I did just order my advent calendar from them. They do a Harry Potter advent calendar, and I missed the first year, which is always gonna kind of break my heart because I don't have the full collection, but they started out with year 1 for like Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and then I started getting it when they did the second year, Chamber of Secrets, and then I also got it last year for Prisoner of Azkaban. So this will be my 3rd year getting their Harry Potter advent calendar, and their 4th year making it. And this is all going to be Goblet of Fire themed. So you'll have to go to their websites and see if they have any more at the time you're watching this. Last year I know they did an order in April and then an order like maybe a month later. So if you are interested in a Harry Potter advent calendar, go follow Dragon Hoard Yarn and Yarn Cafe Creations on Instagram. They're a mother and daughter. I guess they team up for advent. They each have their own yarn companies, hand-dyed yarn companies, and they dye very differently. But when they come together for this advent calendar, it's like a super cohesive thing. It's really, really cool. So go check that out. But 2 of the colors come from that because at the end of the advent there's full skeins. So I think that was Hufflepuff year 1. Nope, that was this past year. This must have been Hufflepuff my year 1, but year 2. So you get to choose if you're a Gryffindor or a Slytherin or whatever you are, Ravenclaw, you get to choose, and that will be your full skein. Other than that, I'm using this sparkly base from Savvy Skeins, and this is called Boots and Spurs. And then my other 2 are from the Yarn at Home mom in her Hardy Sock base. I think this is, I don't know how to say it, Calmeopsis or something, and that's this green one, I believe. That one's fun. And then the other one is called Pictures of You, and that is this one. Very pretty. So much fun. I'm excited to get to use all these, and I probably won't show this next week because I doubt I'm going to be working on it. I have another crocheted shawl, but when I get back to it, it will come right back out. Okay, speaking of things I haven't worked on, my poor brioche shawl really hasn't gotten much love. Let's see how much I've done. Okay, a teensy little bit. Definitely not the crazy amount of progress when it was like my only project. But this is, see, I haven't worked on it in a minute and now I forgot. Golden Willow. Golden Willow by Leslie Ann Robinson. It is a beautiful brioche shawl with such fun texture, and this middle section, so much fun. Every week when I bring out all my projects to podcast, it kind of re-inspires me to work on them. So like now I want to work on this right now. But I didn't do much since last week, just for my little marker here, but that's all right. I think I'm close, within 10 rows of being halfway through, like being done with one repeat, and then I'll do another repeat with the pink and purple, which is looking really pretty. Even though it's not a super high contrast as far as value, it looks really pretty. So I'm still excited about this. I'm not over, it's not totally put away. I just have some, that pattern. I made, several yarn cozies this week. Well, 2 yarn cozies this week, and I've been working on that. And then I also started another project, which I'm going to show you here very shortly. So that's Golden Willow. Not too much more to say about that. I can, however, quite accurately tell you what colors I'm using because, well, that's something else. Because I actually have my labels and I don't have to put it in on the bottom of the screen and guess. So this is what happens when you have, too many different projects going, all with multiple skeins of yarn. Okay, so this purple, Dream in Color Jilly, and the colorway is Lavender Bloom. And snap that one back into place. I'm almost using all float totes this week for all my projects because they're multi-skein. Love that. And then this one is Hooker's Corner in Lover's Lane. And I actually found, because I knew that this was a partial skein because I'd used it for another project, and I found the project that I had used it for. I actually used these two together, this next color, for a hat. So I'll try to remember to put a picture of that in. That's another one of my patterns that I had made a sample because I love these colors together. And then here we go, Malabrigo, Malabrigo Machita. Those tags always look rough, don't they? The color is Renaissance. So super pretty. I still love this project, trying not to forget it. It would be great to finish it this month and kind of round out a lot of these projects this month. I don't know, that just seems like a good goal, don't you think? Try to get some projects done before the end of the month. Start of a new month, I can start maybe some new things. Okay, one more whip before I show you the new one. This I have been working on mostly again at night while I'm watching TV. Still, it is slow for me. But if you haven't heard already, we're doing a knit along called the Helical. And Helical is just a knit along where you can knit anything that includes helical knitting. So basically that means knitting 2 colors or 2 balls of yarn in the round and alternating them using the helical knitting method. I have a tutorial about that. And we have a group on Ravelry, or a thread on Ravelry, where people are sharing their projects and everything. This is going to go to the end of April, and you can join at any time, and you don't have to finish your project, so it's great. I am going to try to finish this. I would like to, at least. I did, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 2, 12 rows, 12 rounds since last week, so not a whole lot of progress, but I bet most of those were the last 2 nights because we have been watching Lock and Key on Netflix, and my husband and I watched the first 2 episodes a few weeks back, and then now that my mother-in-law, his mom is with us, where we started it over. So we've watched the first 2 episodes, and hopefully tonight we get to watch a new episode for us, the 3rd episode. And so since I'm, watching stuff where I really need to pay attention, I have been working on this because I don't have to look at it. It's just garter stitch, knits and purls, real simple. And then I check every so often to make sure that I'm not quite at the helical point yet. And then, another skein of Machita, and this is the colorway Water Green. I will just put it at the bottom because I don't want to get the label. And this is Ching Fiber. I don't have the label for this one, so we don't know. We don't know what color that one is. Maybe somebody can find that out for me. Hey, if you find out what color this is, I'll send you a pattern. I'll send you the cozy pattern because my patterns were all free not too long ago and you might have all my patterns. So I'll send you the cozy pattern if you can find out that color for me. I've looked on their site. I think I know what it is, but I guess I'm just too lazy to do it myself. So that would be awesome. And then I have one more. I have a new whip I'm very, very excited about. Let me take a quick drink before. I'm just looking outside here. It's kind of nice being up here because I've got I've got a window here behind me. Of course it's closed or else it'd be really hard for you to see me. And I've got several windows here in my bedroom and I can see outside, and most days it's just been a little cloudy, which makes it perfect weather to like open the blinds because it's not blinding you when there's sunshine pouring in. So I've actually been enjoying the cloudy weather that we've been having. However, it is mega, mega hot today. Okay, last project, new cast on. So let me tell you first about who this pattern is by. It is designed by Stephanie Aaron. That's her Instagram handle and her design name. Stephanie is somebody that I have been like known for a while, and I love her patterns. She makes lots of beautiful crocheted garment patterns. But last week, I think I saw that she was coming out with a shawl, and she was almost done with the design. She was going to be looking for testers, and this shawl was in, I know, neon yellow and maybe like a dark color. I can't remember if it was black or gray, or I got that totally wrong and it's like blue. I can't remember, but very contrasting colors, and it would just looked like so much fun. And the neon was mohair, and I have been wanting to crochet with mohair for a while. I've actually been wanting to figure out how I can make a crocheted version of my Lusuoso scarf, which is a knitted scarf with mohair and worsted weight, single ply. So I tried and I failed and I'm gonna try again eventually. But I thought, you know what? This is a good opportunity for me to try crocheting with mohair. I also really love the project and I totally have the yarn. And so when her tester call came up, I applied to test. I was like, Stephanie, I'd love to test this for you. And I was really happy that I have the privilege to test it. So I am so excited. I'm actually going to be recording, like I'm making a separate video about this project. I think that me and One of a Kate, that's really bad grammar, isn't it? Kate from One of a Kate, we're both working on this project right now and testing it, and we're each going to make videos about the process of testing like this project and just talking about it throughout. It's going to be like the life of this shawl. It'll be fun. I've never done a video like that before, so I'm excited to do that. But anyway, so Stephanie's was very contrasting. This is the Sound Wave shawl. Again, it's not out yet, it's in testing. And I went with colors that are not contrasting. So this is mine. Oh my gosh, it's really cool. So you can see that there's mohair. The mohair rows are kind of like see-through. Actually, the whole thing is a pretty see-through just because it's nice and like open. My yarn is pretty fine. It's like a light fingering weight. But yeah, this is gonna keep getting bigger, and I'm really excited about this shawl. It's a lot of fun to do. It's really easy to memorize, so you don't have to like constantly be looking at the pattern or counting or using markers, which I didn't think I was gonna be able to do. Like I know how to crochet, but like I still am learning a lot about crochet, and so I thought I was going to need markers, and I don't. You can read the stitches really, really well, which I appreciate in a pattern. I like something that I can take around with me. So I'm using 2 different dyers here. These are actually yarns that I picked up at Knitting in the Hills in 2019, and I got 2 skeins of Suburban Stitcher in her single sock in Peach Tea. And so that is this color here, peach tea. And then I got a mohair. I got Chasing Rabbits. These are both Texas dyers, which is so fun. Chasing Rabbits, Gossamer in Campari Ice. Campari, I don't know how to say that. So I remember specifically when I picked out, I was gonna do Birds of a Feather. I was gonna knit that shawl by Andrea Mowry, and you need 2 skeins and a skein of mohair. And I remember not picking the peach tea mohair because I wanted to do like a brighter, but I don't know, I feel like I should have gone with what the dyer intended to put together, because this is much pinker than this is. This is very peach with like a lot more yellow. I feel like sometimes you just don't see it till you wind them up. Both are beautiful colors. Like, I love pink, so not complaining there. But I think that if I could go back, I probably would, like I did a little swatch, I probably would put the peach tea together with this. So yeah, you live and you learn. I still like it. I'm still gonna wear it, and I still think it looks beautiful. I would just probably change it if I could go back. So no matter, it still looks really pretty. There's probably some of you going, what are you talking about? I would think they were the same, but it looks really cool still. And let me tell you about crocheting with mohair. It's kind of strange, but it's not hard. It's really kind of fun because it's almost like skeletal, like you can really see the crocheted stitches when you're crocheting with lace weight mohair. You just have to be careful to treat it delicately. I mean, it's a delicate yarn, and you just kind of hold it delicately, not tight, and it works out beautiful. So I really haven't had much trouble. I'm glad I did the swatch so I could really learn where to pay attention when crocheting with mohair, but it's going great. I'm really, really happy with it. So lots of fun. This is what I'm putting most of my time into when we're not watching TV and I'm doing my traveler's loop, because I want to get this finished before the deadline, just to have peace of mind, because I don't want to be working up to the last minute. And the rows are starting to get long, so I know it's going to start taking, like, I might be almost halfway through like the number of rows, but every row gets longer, so I want to make sure I'm like ahead of myself here and make sure I get that done on time. So that's a lot of different things going on this week. Lots of different projects. I usually don't have this many projects going on, but I've been having fun being at home and just working out different things, so I have 0 regrets. Okay, I just now, forgot to move my light back, went back and listened to the beginning of that, and it sounds like the air conditioning was pretty loud. Maybe if you're listening without headphones, you're not going to hear it, but if you're listening with headphones, I'm thinking you're going to hear it. I'm so sorry. I've turned the air conditioning off. Lesson learned. I should be okay here for the next like 20 minutes or so. But let's move into some questions. Surprisingly, I have no questions on the Ravelry group, so if you have questions for me, make sure you're heading to the Love and Stitches Ravelry group. Go to the Ask Me thread and ask me anything that you would like. I love to answer questions on the podcast. It gives me fun and different things to do. Also, I'm hoping that next week I might start collaborating with some other podcasters. So I'll do it in the beginning, but I am going to be answering more fun questions, and they are also going to be answering the same questions on their podcast. So I'll be introducing you to lots and lots of podcasters, or helping you get to know podcasters that you already love even better over the next little while. I'm very, very excited about that. And on my to-do list tomorrow is contact those people that you guys suggested on Instagram. But I did have a question on one of my videos from last Tuesday, and this is from Anne. And she asked, how do you stay motivated to knit and crochet when you live in a usually hot climate and probably don't have a lot of opportunities to wear your knitwear? So if you didn't know already or hear it in my intro, I live in Texas, outside of Dallas, and it is pretty hot here most of the time. Like I said, it's 87 degrees today. 90 something tomorrow. And it's only April and the summers are really, really hot. So yeah, in the summertime, I really don't wear a lot of my knitwear. But if you don't live in the South, like, I guess you might not know, like, we have air conditioning everywhere. Have you heard of air conditioning? No, I'm just teasing. But honestly, we have air conditioning everywhere and it is cold. Like, you may feel like you're melting when you walk to your car, and I guess you're melting in your car too, but as soon as you walk into like Target or Starbucks or your house, like, it's gonna be a nice and cool like 70, or like my house 68. Like, it's gonna be cold and it's gonna feel cold, and you're still gonna need blankets and sweatshirts and sweatpants when you're inside to combat the difference in temperature, because sometimes it's 100 outside and it's 70 degrees inside. So I mean, I'm not saying I wear my knitwear like around the house even in the summer, but at work sometimes I'll still wear like a scarf or a shawl, and those tend to get worn like at least, you know, throughout the year. So I do wear them, but I would say there's probably 6 months of the year where I'm not wearing a lot of knitwear. But I don't find that that makes me not want to knit during those times. Usually in the summer, I want to knit things that are smaller, but not always, because I can also knit inside. I'm usually always knitting socks. This is a weird month for me where I don't have any socks on the needles, and I didn't finish any socks in March. So small projects are always good. I pretty much knit everything or crochet out of fingering weight, which definitely helps. And I would say, like, I don't actually really knit with cotton very much. I don't love working with cotton. I still really like wool, and wool is a super breathable and light fabric. It is warm, like it traps warmth really well, but it can also not be super hot. So I still find that I work with everything. The thing that I don't do is knit with heavy yarns. I don't like knitting with heavy yarns. I don't really, like, I prefer the look of a lighter fabric just visually, and then also like practically that's what I like to wear. So I would just say, I guess I don't have problem staying motivated to knit stuff even when in the months that I'm not wearing it. So all of you people who live in the South, maybe you can comment and let us know, like, what keeps you motivated to work on projects, or do you lose motivation in the summer and you just kind of, you pick up something else, or you stop knitting altogether, or you just find it hard to stay encouraged. Maybe even what are some of your favorite things to work on when it is hot outside. It's really, I don't like knit outside when it's hot. Like, the whole beginning of football season is really sad because it's too hot to knit. Like, my hands are swollen and sweaty. Like, it's hot enough here that I don't wear like, when we go to football games, like, I can't wear my wedding ring because my hands just swell. Like, if I'm gonna be outside for any amount of time that's not walking to my car, like, I have to prepare for it. I think I'm feeling very, like, I don't know, some type of way about how hot it is today, because I'm not ready. I'm not. I want it to go back to being 60 degrees. It's so nice. But yeah, that's how I stay motivated to still wear and use my hand knits in the warm weather. Okay, let's talk about some news. So I have a new video this week. It's called Knitter's Massage / like Healthy Hands. Basically, it's a tutorial on how to give yourself a massage with a lacrosse ball. So this is something that I'm trying to be better about doing every single night, especially before bed, for my problem areas, which are like right here. I get like tons of knots, and then right below the elbow. So the elbow is just, I guess, going all day long with knitting and holding my phone and editing things on I'm like always in this position, like not this high. I'm showing you my hands, but I'm pretty much always in this position. So above and below the elbow, both arms usually they're a wreck. I also get a lot of pain, soreness in my forearms if I'm knitting too much. I'm pretty fortunate right now not to have actual wrist pain, but I'm sure that having these other things would lead to wrist pain. Hands sometimes get kind of crampy, so I like to work them out too. But having a lacrosse ball, I mean, it's a game changer. It's not just good for upper body. I use it on my feet right now. I'm really having a hard time with my right foot. I think I have plantar fasciitis. Can't go to the doctor right now, so I don't know if that's what it is, but I look at diagrams of plantar fasciitis, and where it's showing like those tendons is exactly where mine hurts every single morning when I wake up. So painful. I've had to stop wearing slippers around the house because I think that was part of what triggered it to feel really bad, is I was wearing slippers the entire week of spring break and then like continuing on. So I've started wearing real shoes around the house. These are my in the house, my Skechers. I don't wear them outside. See? They're really clean. So that's helped. And then using the lacrosse ball on my feet too. I mean, it is good for like everywhere. It is so awesome. If you really have, if you really want to like work things out, it's good on your calf, but man, it really hurts. It really hurts. So yeah, love my lacrosse ball. I am going, I actually gave away some lacrosse balls on that video for people who commented within the first day. So that's exciting. And I really need to order more for myself so I can have like them in different areas. Like one, I like to keep one in my bathroom. So when I'm getting ready in the morning, I'm rolling out my foot. Having one like by where I'm knitting at night so I can kind of like go on the kitchen counter and roll out my arms. It's so good. Like, I truly believe in massage, and if you can do it yourself at home for the cost of like a $5 ball, why not do it? It's also really good. I show in the video putting the ball against the wall and going right here and just rolling over your shoulders. Man, mine really need that. That's the one I need to be doing like twice a day. So it feels great. Definitely give it a try, even if you have like a tennis ball at home right now, because you can't get out and go buy a lacrosse ball. They do have them on Amazon and Walmart.com. That's where I was able to find them. But yeah, give it a try. If you have like even a golf ball with your hands, that can work. And you can just see if you like it and see if you want to order a lacrosse ball. So that's my new video this week. And then over the past weekend, we did a Zoom knit night, and it was so cool. I felt really blessed to have, I think we had like 40-ish people all on there, and a lot of people had, their video up. It was really fun. It was still, with that many people, like, we couldn't just have an open floor conversation, because that's a lot of people. Like, imagine sitting around the table to have a meal with 40 people. Like, you don't have a conversation all together. You got to have side ones. So it was still kind of, structured, but it was different than a YouTube live, because I actually got to see people's faces. And at the end I gave, time for people to come off of mute and talk and stuff. And it was just really, really fun. So definitely something that I want to do again. I haven't set a date for it yet. But I might not do a live video this weekend because I have something else coming up. I just got that excited feeling in my stomach. I have something brand new coming. It is not Knitty Natty related. It's not knitting related, but it is related to like what I do here. I guess that's kind of a hint. But if you want to know, definitely check my Knitty Natty Instagram on Friday, because I'll be promoting it there and telling you where to go for this new thing that I'm starting. It's been something that I've wanted to do for several months, and I thought I was going to wait till the summer, but with me being home and having like time, there's no time like the present. So I am very, very, very excited for that. And of course I will talk about it on the next podcast episode, because it will be revealed at that point. And then another mention of the Helical. I'll have all the links below, and you can go on Ravelry or my blog to find out the details, and then also go watch my tutorial if you want to learn how to helical knit. Life right now is is going just about the same. I really can't complain. I think we're super blessed right now to be living with others. Like, we're in our home, but my mother-in-law's here, and just having, you know, that social component right now has been really, really good for us. Honestly, like, I feel really blessed to be able to keep my job at home. We are not going back to school this year. That is official. So I'm a reading specialist or a reading interventionist, and we are not going back for this school year. Our school district has decided that. So we're going to continue at home learning. So I'm getting better at communicating with kids and parents online, and some kids are like majorly stepping it up. Honestly, I have some kids that I think are going to make more progress, at least in what my component of reading, than they would if they're like at home, than they would if they were at school, because like for whatever reason, the parent and I have been just really clicking through communication, and they've just been, you know, communicating that well to their kid, and the kid is just like reading for hours every day. Like, they're gonna make huge progress. I'm so excited for several of these kids that are just like nailing it. And I think the hard part is that knowing, especially for my district, that not every kid is going to be able to do that. Like, they just, like, I know if you are a parent right now that's homeschooling your kid, I just can't even imagine how hard it is, because you can want to do everything for them, but sometimes you just can't be their teacher. You might have to work, or you might have like, I mean, I can't think of many families who would have like a tablet for each child if they have multiple kids. Like, no way. Like, I'm trying to imagine if I'm the oldest of 4 kids, and if we had to be home going to school, I honestly feel like my mom would have just been, I don't even know. I want to say like it would have been really hard for her, like really hard, and I just can't even imagine having all those kids at home and like not having enough technology to go around to keep everyone occupied at one time. Like, it would just be so hard, and just to do your work. So I know I'm rambling here, but just know that whatever situation you're in, my heart goes out to you, because it doesn't matter how many privileges you have, it's still a hard time. But I do feel like I am very privileged right now to be home with people and have my job. I feel like I can't ask for much more right now. And yeah, other than that, I'm just really working hard on what's coming up on Friday. I'm super, super, super excited for it. And it's going to be kind of a new chapter. It's not a new chapter, because I feel like a new chapter means that something else is ending, and nothing is ending. This is just like new. I guess I'm starting a new book. Guess I'm gonna have 2 books going at the same time. But yeah, so excited. And then bringing me joy, honestly, today I'm feeling very joyful. So I guess you can say everything is bringing me joy. My mother-in-law has been feeling pretty bored, and so she's been baking, so I cannot complain about that. She just made those delicious oatmeal cookies that are like chocolate. Like, I want to go have another one right now. It sounds so good, so I might have to go do that before I move on to my next task here. But yeah, I'm in a great mood today. I don't know if you can tell by the rate of my voice and the volume at which I started this podcast, because it was loud. I just went back and listened to it. I'm gonna have to adjust that volume. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for all the fun and exciting things coming on my Instagram, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.